So, in the first cabinet meeting under the Modi 3.0 government, which was held yesterday, the NDA government has announced the expansion of the PMAY or the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme to 3 crore more urban as well as rural households. Now, under this scheme, a total of 4.21 crore houses have already been completed for eligible families over the last 10 years, and unchanged home loan rates. Right now, we saw that the repo rates have been kept unchanged. Coupled with this extension of the scheme may induce new vibrancy in the affordable housing space as well. Now, this comes from ANAROC. Then, remember in February, all the way back to the interim budget, Nirmala Sitharaman had announced the construction of 2 crore more houses under the PMAY Grameen scheme, the rural side of the scheme, for the next 5 years. Now, the interim budget also indicated that the mid-segment housing sector would witness a targeted action, and this announcement that came yesterday in the first cabinet meeting is exactly that. And policy alignment would also lead to further growth of India's housing sector, is what ANAROC believes. And now, shifting focus to the urban side of the scheme, which is the PMAY Urban, there has been a demand of 1.12 crore affordable houses, and the government has already made a sanction for 1.18 crore affordable houses, which means there are enough sanctions on the urban side for houses under this scheme. Now, what's interesting to know is that affordable housing sales, which is homes priced under 40 lakh rupees, have fallen from 37% of all the total home sales back in Q1 of 2019 to just 20% in Q1 of 2024, coming in at 26,545 units. So, we have seen a slight bit of a decline coming in when it comes to the entire affordability space, but experts believe that rates being kept steady, and this extension of the scheme is going to create some attraction in the entire affordable housing space, and lots of financiers as well as lots of affordable developers on the real estate side stand to gain from this rule that has been passed yesterday, or the scheme that has been extended yesterday. So our eyes will be on all of those stocks which are buzzing in today's trading session.
All eyes on that extension of the scheme. Surely we're seeing them see a bit of an up move. But to talk more about that today, let's bring on board our experts for today. We have Hemen Kapadia joining in with us from Choksey Securities, while we have Shahina Mukadam on the fundamentals independent analyst joining in with us. A very good morning, and thank you so much both of you all for joining in with us. Shahina, surely it seems positive, extension of the scheme coming in, positive for all these companies. How are you judging it fundamentally, and what is it that you are picking up from this space? We have other housing finance, Awas financiers, Aptus value. What is looking attractive right now?
See, so we all agree that the supply for affordable housing is increasing, with the government giving it a good push in terms of sanctions, in terms of the number of new constructs that they are planning over the medium term. Also, as we see that affordable housing is interest sensitive, and I believe interest rates are likely to bottom out maybe by this year end. So that could be another positive. And in terms of the companies that are offering finance, you could have Woodco, you could have PNB Housing, and some of the other smaller ones that you mentioned. Of course, PNB Housing, in terms of valuation, as your analyst also pointed out, is most attractive in the price to book ratio. It's about 1.3, 1.4 times. Also, if you see the last year, FY24, they reported very healthy profit growth. It was almost 50% on a YOY annualized basis. So I think in terms of valuation, growth, PNB Housing, in my view, looks like the top pick in this space as of now. Woodco, of course, is a government-owned PSU with government owning about 75% stake. So the valuations are a bit stretched in my view. It's about 3.3, 3.4 times. But this is largely because of the sharp rally we saw in the last 1 year. So the 1 year rally being so sharp, valuations being expensive, of course, it's a large PSU. So it would do well if you're holding it for the longer term. But in my view, in the shorter or medium term, it will see some bit of price correction. I would say time correction in terms of the stock consolidating for some time. But that would remain good for the longer term.
the fundamental take coming in on all these stocks related to the affordable housing segment. But Hemen, very good morning and thank you so much for your time. Wanted your take on the technical front because for today, after the announcement, we are seeing great moves on stocks like Hutco, Awas Financiers, even PNB Housing, and a stock like LIC Housing is also seen to be buzzing. But any of the stock that stands out for you? Because I could spot there are a couple of them are already giving breakouts, but how much do you trust them at this point in time?
A very good morning to you. Thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. Like you said, some of them have moved quite a lot. Even Hutco that you spoke about, I mean, one just gets a feeling that you've had a phenomenal move. There's nothing wrong with the stock, but I'm not sure if the risk-reward ratio is in favor of going fresh longs over here. LIC Housing Finance that you mentioned looks positive, Srishti. One gets a feeling that we've been consolidating over here for some time, and that sometime has been this is the okay. We are in the beginning of the month, or maybe not exactly halfway, but this is the 5th month that LIC Housing has been consolidating, roughly in a range between 560 on the downside and 680 on the upside, and we are just over there. We're on the cusp of a breakout. So from a few stocks that you mentioned, I believe LIC Housing Finance looks pretty interesting, saying we're almost breaking out, and if the breakout does come through, then we can expect anything between a 12 to 14% upside over the next couple of months. So this stock looks promising, and it made a base. So the risk reward ratio and the stop loss are relatively very clear from that point of view.
Right, Hemen, and surely keeping an eye out on all those stocks there. But yes, that was all about those affordable housing side, which may see a pickup given the extension of the scheme. But on that note, we are going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back and we'll be taking all your stock related queries after the break.